Italian Baroque art refers to Italian painting and sculpture in the Baroque manner, which was executed over a period of time that extended from the late 16th to mid-18th centuries. Bernini and Cortona are two well-known artists from this century. Gian Lorenzo Bernini was a famous Italian sculptor and architect, being the leading sculptor of his age. Pietro da Cortona was also an architect, but also a painter. He was a key figure in the emergence of Roman Baroque architecture.
Located above the altar of the Cornare Chapel in Rome's Santa Maria della Vittoria, Bernini's The Ecstasy of Saint Teresa represents an episode from the life of the saint as recorded in her spiritual autobiography. Teresa describes an angel carrying a fire-tipped spear with which she pierces her heart repeatedly, an act that sends her into a state of spiritual rapture. The pain, she writes, was so severe that it made me utter several moans. The sweetness caused by this intense pain is so extreme that one cannot simply wish it to cease, nor is one's soul then content with anything but God. Bernini's sculptural group shows a Cupid-like angel holding an arrow. His delicate touch and thin figure gives him an air of grace. Bernini's sculptural group shows a Cupid-like angel holding an arrow. His delicate touch and thin figure gives him an air of grace. With her head thrown back and eyes closed, Teresa herself collapses, overcome with the feeling of God's love. Her physical body seems to have dematerialized beneath the heavy drapery of her robe. Twisting folds of fabric energize the scene, and bronze rays emanating from an unseen source seem to rain down divine light. The combined effect is one of intense drama, and despite being made of heavy marble, the saint and angel sit upon a cloud appear to float weightlessly. A complete understanding of the aesthetic impact and spiritual significance of the ecstasy can only be gained in the context of the larger space of the chapel. The work is not an independent piece, but the crucial center of a more complex composition that brings together not only sculpture, but also painting and architecture, all designed by Bernini himself. The dark patterned marble columns and convex niche in which the ecstasy is framed, for example, they enhance the brightness and dynamism of the scene, while giving the sense that the wall has opened up to reveal Saint Teresa's vision. We are, in a way, looking at a vision of a vision, one that Bernini has created for the faithful who worship at the altar and for the Cornare family in particular. On each wall, perpendicular to the altar wall, an illusionistic window contains sculptural likeness of family members, some of whom lean over the parapet in the direction of Bernini's work, rapt witness to the miracle.
The allegory of divine providence and Barberini power fills the large ceiling of the grand salon of the Palazzo Barberini in Rome. The ceiling is rich in both color and detail. We can see stimulated bronze reliefs of scenes representing the cardinal virtues. The rich Venetian color and the weighty, powerful figures gives the ceiling an epic grandeur and immediacy of impact. Cortona even paid tribute to the high Renaissance painter Raphael in the central figure of Divine Providence, because her pose is taken directly from one of Raphael Sibyl's A fresco of 1514. The immense composition celebrates the spiritual and political power of the Barberini family, doing so through a myriad of characters, over 100 of them, being set in such an open space, dilated to infinity beyond the limits imposed by the architecture.